Hey, get Germanized, love your videos. My question to you though is, what is the single biggest moment of culture shock that you've been through, and which country did you experience it in?
I am bored. What should I do?
Ah, ich weiß.
That is a good question. Probably was in Japan, because Japan was just so different from what I experienced, well, in other countries. I've been to Thailand. I mean, that was quite different too. I've been to the US, and that was different in some ways. I actually made an entire video about what I found strange about the US, and people seem to like it. It has, I think, by now over 2 million views, so they found it interesting. At least I'm going to link it for you in the video description. So those are the culture shocks I had in the US. But for Japan, well, I mean, I also made videos on Japan, like a lot of videos. Actually, I think I recently released a compilation, which I will also link for you in the video description. All my travel videos in one video, basically. But you can also find the playlist. Also gonna link that for you, because I think the video quality there is a tiny bit better. Whatever you want to do. Those were the culture shocks that I've encountered, for sure. Just to give you one example of my Japan trip, there was this, I think, fish skin that they sprinkle on meals sometimes, and when I first saw it, because I didn't know what that was, I thought it was alive. Like the Klingon food from Star Trek. Gach.
Isn't that gach?
Yep. Very good.
Still moving.
Gras is always best when served live.
Like the moving whatever that was, worms in Star Trek, I think, but for this dish it was fish skin, I think. So thinly cut that through the heat of the dish alone they move. It's so weird, but I loved it. It was so cool. And I even have my friend Maria on camera, on tape, saying, "It's not alive."
It's not alive.
I know, it looks like it's alive though. Because I was so confused.
Hey Dom, quick question. German toilets. One that has a shelf. Example. But American toilets don't have the shelf. My question to you is this a common toilet in all households?
That is actually such a funny question. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you so much for this question. I have seen these kind of toilets. They are relatively common in Germany. We don't really have them here where I live. Like, my household doesn't have them, for sure. I hate them. I'm not gonna go into too much detail here. You're welcome. But, you know, the bowel movement. Depending on the bowel movement, you don't want a shelf. Let me tell you that, especially if your toilet water pressure isn't that great. That's all I'm gonna say. There you go.
Was ist der Unterschied zwischen Österreich-Deutsch und Deutschland-Deutsch? Ich hoffe, ich habe das richtig gesagt.
You wanted to know what the difference is between Österreich-Deutsch, so Austrian German, and Deutschland-Deutsch, Germany German. Well, there's a big difference. Basically, the Austrian Germans will obviously speak with a heavy dialect. For us, at least it seems that way. Very difficult to understand for non-Austrians, I would assume. Same with Swiss German, of course. And they all, like Switzerland and Austria, have different slang words that no German would know about.
In Graubünden kommen wir der 0-Grad-Grenze schon gefährlich nach. Bei 2 Grad wird es schon richtig zapfig.
Very difficult to understand sometimes, but I think every time they speak to a Germany German, they kind of, well, adapt and speak High German, like the standard German, the normal German. Standard German. Well, maybe you guys from Austria can let me know where the difference is, because I think you would know better. I've never been to Austria, not really at least. I've been once when I was a kid with my parents, but that would actually interest me as well.
What do you do whenever you're alone and sad and everybody else is busy and you can't leave the house?
A very good question, because I think many people out there struggle with the same thing. I have struggled with this before. I'm still sometimes struggling with this. Especially recently, I had like panic attacks again, which I thought were over, but apparently not. Great. And it just happened after I got my capsular rupture in this middle finger here while working out. And so I couldn't really work out anymore for a while, and that got my stress levels up so much because I've been working, as always, a lot, and I couldn't really balance it out with anything. So that made the panic attacks come back. And also I've struggled with depression in the past, but that has actually gotten a lot better. And I want to believe at least, that that is due to the fact that I've been supplementing my vitamin D3 levels. Ever since I've done that, I have felt so much better, and I even got a blood test to well, kind of check my levels like 2 weeks after I started just supplementing them on my own. But I thought, well, you better check if you need to supplement at all. And even though I've been supplementing for a couple of weeks before the blood test, the results of the blood test showed that I was at 19 point something, and I think here in Germany the recommended is 20, the internet says even 40, newest studies, whatever. So I've been definitely super low, probably under a value of 10, and that is really bad because vitamin D3 is linked, according to studies, to mood swings, depression, weak bones and everything. So many illnesses actually. Might be that it's just advertisement for supplements, a little bit at least, but I feel better, so maybe that's a help for you. I mean, maybe you're just sad because no one has time, and then I can't really help you because I know that situation as well. A lot of my friends live all over the country, even in other countries, and I rarely see them anymore, which is sad. They at least live an hour away, most of them actually live further away than that. But well, I try to keep in contact via WhatsApp and stuff like that, and make dates with them, like so that we meet each other. For example, this weekend I'm gonna go to Bremen again to hang out with my friend Sergio. Him I actually see most often probably, and Kevin and Dave as well. But I definitely know what it feels like when you're just at home and you're like, another weekend where I don't see anyone because no one wants to do anything or has time. That can be hard, especially when you're self-employed like myself. You're at home a lot anyway. And then if the weekends are the same, basically, because no one wants to do anything, it's kind of shitty sometimes, let me tell you. But like I said, I feel much better due to working out again, due to eating healthy and supplementing the vitamin D3. And I'm also taking the vitamin K2 and magnesium because the internet says, I know that might just be advertisement for supplements, but the internet says K2 is working together with the D3 to not let it sit in the bloodstream and clog it up. K2 enables the body to use the vitamin D3 better and to transport it to the bone. And magnesium, I think, something about the body needing more magnesium when you take in high dosages of vitamin D3. So, not a doctor here, obviously. So maybe there are some doctors that can help us out with this, because I think this is a very interesting topic that many of you guys, many of the Germ fam would find helpful to know the answer to as well. That's it for the Snapchat/Instagram Q&A. If you want to participate in the next one, make sure to add me on Snapchat, Instagram, all my social media basically. You can find it in the video description. And of course, consider supporting me on patreon.com/getgermanized and become part of the Germ Elite, a part of the Germ fam that makes regular videos every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday possible. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.